Always a pleasure with Robert. Well, we've got such a packed panel coming up. We're only allowed 10 people on the screen at a time, so everybody's trying to jump in on this thing, guys. I could not be more excited about this next panel at Mainframe Comic-Con. They were here for the first Mainframe Comic-Con. Of course, we're talking about the cast and the crew of the AMC show Nosferatu. They are filling in the backstage as we speak, guys. Nosferatu. We've only got 2 episodes left. It airs Sundays at 8 o'clock Eastern on AMC and, of course, also on BBC America. I'm not sure if we have Jami O'Brien, the showrunner, on just yet, but I know we have Elena Novik is there. Jami is here. How you doing, Jami?
Hello.
Hey, sorry. I know we had Mr. Robert Wool on, and you brought so many cast members from Nosferatu here to be on Mainframe today, so we packed out the backstage. So
awesome.
So glad you're here. I want to chat with you just a little bit before we bring on the rest of the cast, and I understand you brought a show clip we're going to show in just a little bit. Very excited for that, but let's talk a little bit about season 2. Last time you were here on Mainframe Comic-Con, I mean, what a season, what a whirlwind season season 2 of Nosferatu has been. I mean, last time you were here, you promised that season 2 would deliver. I mean, it totally did. More characters, more action, more suspense. I mean, you weren't kidding. What can fans expect? Can they expect the same level of awesomeness in the final 2 episodes?
Well, I would say, I think that last time I promised that you'd see more Christmas Land, and you're about to see a lot more Christmas Land. So episode 9, which is going to be airing tomorrow night, is called Welcome to Christmas Land, and it was written by one of our faves, Tom Brady, who writes a lot of our big action episodes. So that's pretty cool. Also directed by Toa Fraser, who I'm very excited about you guys to see his block. He did a phenomenal job with both episodes. And yeah, I would say hold on to your hats and get ready to see some Christmas Land.
Well, definitely we posted that you guys were going to be appearing on Mainframe on all of the Nosferatu fan pages, and people freaked out. I mean, there's so much love in the fan community for this show. I'm curious, from a production standpoint, any major differences behind the camera between season 1 and season 2? Season 2's got a lot of sort of on-location stuff. You're out in the woods a little bit more than you were in season 1. What were the differences in producing and making 1 and now working on 2?
Yeah, it's season 1 we were on location a lot as well, actually. Both seasons we've kind of been on location a lot, but I think that in season 2 we've been more in the woods, and I think that was Chris's cabin was in the woods, and so that we told a lot of stories there, so we wound up being there a lot. We had a lot of the same, in terms of like back behind the scenes, we had a lot of the same folks come back and rejoin us for season 2, and then we had some newbies as well. We had a new production designer named Clark Hunter, who was amazing, and yeah, aside from that, it was kind of the same family, which has been great. And I think that, season 2 was a lot more challenging than season 1 in a lot of ways. It was bigger, faster, more stunts. But since we had season 1 under our belt, I think that the crew really kind of figured out how to produce the show. And though it was still, enormously challenging, I am in awe of our cast and crew. They were able to pull it off.
Well, something I love, and you talk about the production design of the show, it's something that caught my eye sort of mid-season that I never quite really noticed before, is that the show, as far as the shooting location, it's set very much in the fall. All the leaves are brown. It's almost like it's just about to become winter. What can you tell us about sort of the location? Was shooting in the fall something that was done literally and importantly when you were producing the show, or is it just did it happen that way?
We start in the summer, actually. We start at the very tail end of summer, and we shoot in New England. So the seasons change rapidly there. We shoot in Rhode Island. So if you see like the first 2 episodes of season 2 and season 1, actually, we shot the same time of year both times. It's very green. And then truthfully, it wasn't on purpose, but I kind of love the story that the weather changes tell, because it follows along with our character's journey. Really, it goes from like this kind of green, everything is great, Charlie Meigs is dead, he wakes up, You know, we get to see New England in all of its beautiful fall colors for just a moment, and then he snatches Wayne and things start to die. And actually, it was snowing a few times when we were shooting the last couple episodes. So, yeah, it's a real New England journey, I guess.
So it was almost an accident, but it totally works with the story because, like, as you say, you're approaching closer and closer to Christmas Land, which sort of represents winter. So you go through all the seasons, and then it sort of, according to what you said, seeing more Christmas Land, it sort of ends in the snow.
Yeah, it was a happy accident, for sure.
That's awesome. Well, I definitely want to invite the rest of the cast and show you show clips. So one more question just for you. The show is obviously based on the best-selling novel from Joe Hill. I've read the book. Everybody in my household has read the book. We're huge Joe Hill fans. Do you have story ideas that are going to go beyond the page that sort of expand that universe beyond what Joe Hill's already told? Are the wheels already spinning in your head?
Yes, absolutely. And that was kind of always our intention. One of the things that I love about the novel is that Joe lays out a world in which there are many strong creatives. You know, the ones that we meet in the novel and then the ones that we've met so far on the show are Charlie and Vic and Maggie. But there's a lot more out there. And that's one of the reasons why we created Parnassus for the show. The bar where the kind of villainous strong creatives hang out was as a way to show the audience that there is a bigger world and to bring in more strong creatives. We've already seen the Hourglass Man so far this season. And yeah, so there's lots of stories to tell in this universe if people have the appetite for them.
Well, I want to start getting some guests in, but before we do, we have a video clip that is just awesome. So, Chad, if you're in the director's chair back there, if we could roll this clip, and we'll bring on some more guests in just a sec.
That's him. Wait, it's Mom. Hey, you're too old to be here. Okay, Mr. Mates! Hey. Mr. Mates! Grown-ups at Christmas Land! Drifters! Everybody come, look!
Victoria McQueen.
Well, there it is, guys. Check it out tomorrow. We're watching that clip, and I'm looking at all the faces in the backstage, and everybody's jaws on the floor, especially Mattea. So let's go ahead and bring in our first two cast members. They play Millie Manx and Wayne McQueen. Please help me in welcoming Mattea Conforti and Jason David. Are you guys there? There's Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Hey.
There's Wayne and Mattea.
Is my mic working?
It is. You sound fantastic.
Hi.
Yeah. Hello, guys.
How are you guys doing today?
We're doing good.
Something I wanted to ask you guys, because, I mean, both of your characters, they take on a lot of physical transformations, veins, sharp, pointy teeth. I mean, how long do you guys have to sit in the makeup chair every day before you start your day, putting in those teeth, putting on all that face makeup? Wayne, maybe you, or I'm sorry, Jason, some of the blood in your mouth. I mean, how long do you guys spend in the makeup chair?
It's not too long. Like, lots of other people are there a lot longer than we are. For us, it's about 15 minutes or so. But for some people, it's been a long time, like hours sitting in that special effects chair.
With all of, like, the airbrushing the veins on, and, like, for me, I have to also get on that huge wig that I have to wear. So for me, for the makeup, it's just like how Jason said, around like 15, 20 minutes. And with the wig, it's like an additional 10, 15 minutes. So I'm in the chair around like 30 minutes in all. but it's nothing to compare to what all the other cast members have to do.
Yeah, no kidding. How did they do the teeth? Oh yeah, no, maybe you don't have to tell me that. That's trade secret. But I mean, man, it just looks so good. Your makeup looks fantastic. Your costumes look great. Mattea, something I want to ask you about. I'm not sure which episode it was, but in season 2, you actually sort of played 2 characters at multiple portions of the show. I mean, you play obviously Christmas Land Millie Manx, but you also play sort of young pre-Christmas Land Millie Manx when she's in the Manx house. What was it like playing those 2 characters, especially playing 2 characters in one scene? How can you kind of describe the process of shooting 2 completely opposite characters in one scene?
Yeah, it's a totally different process than what other people would usually think it is, because you can't exactly play off of yourself because there's only one of me. So we had to shoot the whole scene as me in Demon Millie, and then we would have to go back and I would have another person play me as Demon Millie, and then me normally play myself. So it was a long process just to get that one scene, but it looks so cool on TV and it just looks so real.
It was. Is that what we call it? Demon Millie? Is that the name on set for Millie Manx?
Demon Millie.
Demon Millie, real Millie.
Jason, I want to ask you a little bit. I mean, you start the season as such a nice kid. I mean, you're such a nice kid at the beginning of the season, and then by the time I get to where we are now, I believe like episode 8. I mean, your personality is sort of changed just a little bit. I'm not going to say you're not a bad guy, but you're sort of a troubled youth.
Yeah.
We could put that. So, like, was it hard making that transition from nice kid to sort of troubled youngster?
It wasn't hard, but it also wasn't easy. So
Yeah.
like sort of medium, kind of like.
You're
it wasn't
pro.
just like a breeze, but it also wasn't a huge challenge. So
You're a professional. You know what you're doing. Mattea, something I wanted to ask. Am I saying it right, Mattea?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Your costume in Christmas Land, such a cool costume. You got the
Iconic.
sword.
Iconic
You get to
costume.
poke people. It's so cool. You're almost like this
I love that
boy
sword.
soldier kind of costume. Like, so when you think when the Comic-Cons, the physical Comic-Cons, start opening back up, hopefully in 2021. Do you think you're going to see some Millie Manx cosplays walking around San
I
Diego?
hope so. I feel like it'd be such a cool costume. Who wouldn't want to wear that costume? It's so cool.
I know, sharp teeth.
Sharp teeth, general's outfit, sword, bloody sword, blood.
Think about that, cosplayers. It's not as easy as she makes it look. Last question for both of you before I bring in the rest of the cast, guys. What was the set of Christmas Land like? I mean, the set pieces, the snow. I mean, are we looking at real snow? What can you say about the environment in the Christmas Land?
I mean, I wish it were real. It would be kind of hard because the whole set was actually indoors this season, because last season it was an outdoor set, but this season it was indoors. So we had to build everything so it could look real inside. But there's a lot of visual effects that you also have to add in at the end. There's like a huge green screen that just like goes around the whole wall. So it looks totally different on set than on camera.
Yeah, Jason, was it cool working with all those Christmas trees and Christmas blocks everywhere?
Yeah, it was cool, but Mattea knows most of it because, she's been there 2 seasons, so she knows what it's like having an indoor and outdoor set. I've only been here this season, so.
Well, guys, thanks a lot. Stick around. I want to have everybody on. So let's go ahead, if we could, and bring on the entire cast. Please help me in no particular order. The cast of AMC's Nosferatu. We got Virginia Cole, a.k.a. Linda McQueen, Olafur Olafsson, a.k.a. Bing Partridge, John, look at them all go, Jonathan Langdon, Lou Carmody, Ashley Rome, of course, plays Tabitha Hutter. How is everybody doing? Is everyone here? Everybody is here.
Yeah. Everybody's here.
Welcome to Mainframe, guys. The players got so small.
So good to see everybody.
Oliver, are you in your car, Oliver? Are you in a...
I am in a tractor. I'm shooting a movie in the Westfjords of Iceland. So
Oh my God.
this is my view.
Oh my God.
It's pretty incredible.
How do you get Wi-Fi out there? What's going on? Your video's perfect.
I'm in the middle. Everyone's waiting for me. They're set up. And one
Oh my
shot.
God,
So
Well,
There's a guy
then-
with a cell
I'm gonna speak really
antenna
quickly.
just holding it.
I'm being a diva.
well, then my
How are you
first
guys?
question is most certainly for you, man. I mean, Olafur, Olafur. Season 1, man. I mean, you so wanted to feel for Bing Partridge, I mean, especially in that first season, being a friend to Vic McQueen, you so wanted to like the guy. you felt for him, but I mean, season 2, all those good feelings towards Bing just completely went away. You know, if he wasn't already solidified as a bad guy in season 1, you sealed the deal in season 2. Is there any chance of a redemption story for Bing in your mind? Or is he just beyond redemption?
Jamie?
I mean, I'll let Dari speak, but I will say this: in episode 8, when he's being processed, I feel for him. I have to say, this is one of the amazing things about Dari as an actor. No matter what Bing does, I always kind of come back to feeling for him, and yeah, and then I have an argument with myself. He's awful. He's done all these terrible things. But then Dari plays him with such compassion, you can't help but come back around again and again, or at least me.
Yeah, I mean, you see, as bad as he is, he's such a lovable character. You know, this childlike innocence in a murderous package.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's important to, and me and Jamie talked about this, that we live in a world where I think we really want to know who the bad guys are and the good guys. And I think it's really important to show some nuance to that and to see that you can actually feel for people that have done despicable things. And you can also, you can be such a lovable, cuddly kind of guy like Bing, but still be really, really dangerous.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Jonathan, question for you, man. I mean, your character... Lou Crumble, welcome to Mainframe, by the way, John.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Excellent. Lou obviously introduced last season is almost the hero almost of at the end of season 1. Became a real centralized character. I mean, big time. One of the major characters in season 2. And honestly, I mean, no matter how bad Vic gets in season 2 with her alcoholism, emotional distancing, everything that she goes through, Lou always stands by her side. No matter how bad things get. What is it about Vic in your mind that draws Lou to her, keeps her so committed to Vic and to Wayne?
So what is it about Vic that Lou stays so committed?
Yeah, just the character.
I think Lou obviously, like, he loves Vic, and I think it's partially because he wants to protect her. She's giving him a family, and he loves her for that. And also Lou appreciates that, like, she accepts him for everything he is, for all of his faults, for all of everything. And she just, like, loves him despite all that. He thinks, like, despite all that. So he just feels like so at home with her and willing to really do anything to be with and protect his family. So that's kind of like his want. He wants his family.
One thing I love about Lou's character, especially in season 2, that really comes out is, I mean, and we're in a virtual Comic-Con where you're surrounded by nerds. Lou's a pretty nerdy character, man. You're always quoting Star Wars stuff. I mean, Jonathan, are you as nerdy in real life as sort of Lou? Those Star Wars quotes back and forth?
Okay, I'm going to make this completely clear to everybody here. Kind of. Yes. Yeah, I would say, like, I'm into Star Wars, Star Trek. I'm into all that. I'm not as well versed as my fellow nerds, but I love it and I know it. I am, however, well versed in video games. So I kind of, like, would swap the passion for, like, the comic books and stuff. I try to swap it out for my love for video games and stuff and work with that while I was, like, filming. But yeah, so pretty much, yes, I am in there.
Video games, they totally
check.
Count. All right, cool. Virginia, I mean, hello.
Hi.
It's so good to talk to you. I gotta say, your character, Linda, Vic's mom, has long since been my favorite character on the show.
Hey, Chuck.
Adore Linda for so many reasons. And it's your performance, Linda, but it's also the character that I guess Jamie has sort of created. First question, just right off the top, I'm sure you get asked this all the time. How'd you manage to hone that heavy New England accent? Because, I mean, it's pretty spot on. I mean, what was your process in pulling out that thick accent?
Well, our badass boss, Miss Jami O'Brien, is like from exactly where our show takes place, basically. So she has been super helpful. We had an amazingly talented dialect coach, Amanda Quaid, who was a very important resource for all of us that had to do accent work. And huge shout out to the amazing, I guess it's like a staple in New England. There's this fabulous thrift store called Savers. And I would literally go multiple times a week and get my shopping cart and push it up and down the aisles of the local Savers in the Massachusetts, right over the Rhode Island state line, and just listen to people talk. And I wouldn't buy it. Sometimes I'd buy something. I'd be like, that's a cute shirt. It's $2. Great. But most of the time it was just let me like soak up all of the local flavor that I can. And it was amazing.
Did you try it out on your fellow shoppers and get some funny looks inside the supermarket?
I mean,
Like, are you making fun of me?
I tried it out on my husband a lot. Like sometimes I'd come home from set and Ryan would be like, I miss Virginia. Like Linda's been nice to have around, but can Virginia come back, please?
Well, I mean, Virginia, like I said before, huge fan of the character. I'm sorry, Linda. In season 1, Vic's very much the daddy's girl. You know, he supported her art, told her to go to college, whereas Linda's a little bit more of the, say, the sensible kind of parent, sort of held her back just a little bit. What was it like sort of taking on that bad cop role in the parenting world on the show?
You call it bad cop, Chuck. I choose to call it grown up.
The big kid.
She was the adult. I mean, it was a pleasure. It's nice to play the person that everyone's going to call the wet blanket, and know that actually the way she's parenting her child, although not popular, is actually quite honorable. And it was fun to play someone who didn't care that she wasn't popular. That was really, as actors, I think we all, maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but can get a little wrapped up in what people think about us. And so it's so freeing when you get to play a character that doesn't give a shit.
There's kids' presents, Virginia.
Oh, sorry.
I think Linda gets a bad rap, man. I really do.
Yes.
I think she loves her child and was trying to keep her safe, and think about practical things like having a roof over their heads. I mean, she, out of the two of them, meaning Chris and Linda, she's the one who's not an alcoholic, who is not violent to members of her own family.
Except when I threw that vodka bottle at her.
Yeah,
we'll forget about that.
I mean, she does have the bottle of Kahlua over for special occasions. I think she might tipple a little bit, but I think that she gets a bad rap from Vic because Vic's a kid, and then I think the audience, because the audience is so much with Vic, sometimes we are as unforgiving as Linda as Vic is.
Right.
But I don't think that that's really fair. She's the one who was there. He didn't run off. So anyway, I'm Team Linda, though I also love Chris. I love all the characters. But I feel defensive of Linda when people say mean things about her.
You just love all your children. Like, my mother says the exact same thing. Ashley, how's it going down there?
Good. How are y'all?
I'm doing good.
First time I'm seeing everybody in a really long time.
Yes,
I know.
When was the last time we got everybody together? When was the last reunion?
When we wrapped, I think.
Yeah.
In January.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was kind of
Virginia.
Hi. I miss everybody so much.
I gotta see, like, how's
when we lived
everybody
in a different
doing?
world.
Right.
It was a different world.
John, I'm glad we could tear you away from your video games for 5 minutes to get back together with the old
And
dad.
Gary away from his shoot.
Ashley, let's just face it, man. I mean, the cop doesn't always make it into season 2. I mean, in horror movies, the agent doesn't always make it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, especially with Joe Bly, we saw that they sometimes are the first ones to go.
Exactly, and it's a stereotypical kind of horror trope. When you were cast in the role in season 1, did you think that Tabitha would have such an important role in season 2? I mean, you're Maggie's rock. she has no one, and Tabitha is sort of her shoulder to lean on. Were you surprised at what a massive role Tabitha was going to have in season 2?
Well, I remember getting cast in the show and then getting on the plane and reading the book. And then eventually I got to the part where Tabitha comes in 500 pages in or something. And I wasn't, and then, I took time for me to finish the 700-page book. But what I love about this show is that they take all the ingredients and then kind of riff on them. I liken it to, how like a jazz band takes a standard piece and just does their own riff of it, of like a Christmas standard or something. That's what I love. So I wasn't expecting to be with Maggie, but it's such a treat because Jakara, as we know, is just such a great actress, such a pleasure to work with. Best work wife I could ask for. So I was really happy to be a part of season 2 in such a big way.
We had Jakara on Mainframe, the very first Mainframe. We had Jami and Jakara, and Joe was on. Yeah. It was phenomenal. We have to, because like I said at the beginning of the show with you, Jami, the fans are blowing up about Mainframe. So we're going to open it up to questions from the audience. But before we do, guys, one more question for Jason and Mattea. What was it like working with your fellow cast members Zachary, Quinto, and Ashley Cummings?
They're both amazing.
Yeah, they're both amazing.
Really professional.
It was super fun and nice working with them. And
I'm not a big fan.
I think I speak for kind of everybody in this call when I say I want a season 3. I want a season 3.
Hashtag Nosferatu season 3. Let's get it going. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up to some people in the chats because the fans are blowing up. First question comes from Scott Garrison. Hello, Chuck. Oh, hello. Can you ask Virginia? Sure, I can. Would she welcome a trip to Christmas Land?
Yes.
You guys are absolutely awesome.
100%, Scott. The crummiest part of my job is that I haven't gotten to play in that world yet, but it means that I get to watch it as an audience member and be as shocked and terrified and delighted as all of you guys. So it's kind of a mixed bag, but 100% yes. I want to give you a run for your money, Miss Mattea. Watch out, Millie Mikes. Wind of a Queen coming.
All right, I'm going to put this one up really quick. So, Jonathan, keep your eyes peeled.
Okay.
It says, Jonathan, Lou is the blank.
That is an excellent question.
That's a great question.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
This is obviously the question that's on everybody's mind. Jamie, this comes from Jennifer Dobbs, writes, will we get more Nosferatu in the future? Season 3, 4, and more.
Listen, there's nothing that I would like more. I would love to keep making this show. I love the story. I love the cast. I love the crew. I love going to Rhode Island every year. There's nothing about it that I don't love. It's not up to me. It's up to AMC. So I think that we haven't heard about a season 3 yet. I think that, there's a lot going on in the world right now, and especially for television studios right now. So I'm not sure one will hear one way or the other, but I think that it is going to depend on how well season 2 does. So if you want more Nosferatu, keep watching and tell your friends.
Tomorrow night is episode 9, right?
That's right. 2 more weeks.
Yep.
9
Oh
is
my
good.
God. Oh my God.
Next week.
Bing. I keep calling you Bing. Dari.
Call me Bing.
Such a fantastic, such a fan favorite character. In all the chats, everything we were promoting this show in, everybody's like, oh my God, you got Bing. Oh my God, he's a favorite character. Anna's gift hatch says, that is a beauty of Bing. That is the beauty of Bing. Okay. He's the best of both worlds. I think just kind of talking about that childlike innocence and also that murderous rage.
Yeah, to be honest, it's one of my favorite characters ever. He sort of allows you to go into the deepest, darkest places you can find, and then sort of surprise you with this kind of lovely innocence. Like his relationship with Mike this season was really was kind of beautiful. Like, I think he really connects with Mike, and actually I think what happens to Mike when Mike goes to Christmas Land is part of why Bing has a change of heart, sort of when the show sort of goes on and realizes that maybe what they're doing is not the right thing to do.
Dory, what can you tell us about your process of sort of, capturing that? Because I mean, you're a big dude, probably a bit of a badass. How do you make that acting transition to this almost like childlike character that doesn't seem to know right from wrong? I mean, do you have to go to a certain place? There's a lot of method acting going in there.
I think I'm the least badass person you'll ever meet.
Is that true?
Maybe Jonathan might be the me and Jonathan, we're gonna fight over that. No. My process is it's a really well written show, and it just makes it easy. It's just and great characters, and just have a lot of love for the people I'm working with, and then make it really easy. It's just a very boring answer. There's no secret to it.
You're just that good.
Yeah, just be good. He's just good.
Andre P. writes, what's the most difficult scene of the season to film? Jamie, that's probably a question for you, or well, I guess anybody. Like, what were some of the hardest scenes? I know episode 5 looked pretty grueling, which was actually called
Is everyone ready?
Wayne, right? It was the Bruce Wayne episode.
Okay. Yeah.
Bruce Wayne, Queen. Yeah.
Yeah, was that one of the tougher ones, or what is everybody
Guys,
think?
I'm sorry. Can I interrupt?
Yes,
This is my
Dory.
director.
Hey, director, you're live.
They're ready.
Okay.
So
Thank
I'm gonna leave you guys. I'm so sorry about
It's
this.
no
but
problem.
Thank you
No,
so
no.
much.
All right.
And,
Darn, so good to
thank
see
you guys for watching the show.
We
and,
love you.
big love to you all.
Bye.
Thank you,
Okay.
dear director and crew.
Here's doing, man.
Borrow you.
Stay safe.
All right, so how much you guys really like Dory?
Oh, so much.
He's awesome.
The best, man.
He's amazing. Everybody's great on the show.
What were some of the most difficult scenes, sort of going around the room? Jamie?
I would say the scenes that we shot at exterior Sleigh House Ruins and exterior Christmas Land when it was 8 degrees out. The weather made some of the scenes really tough. Episode 5 was for sure a really challenging episode. It had a lot of stunts. It had a lot of crazy point of view work to keep track of. But it wasn't as cold as exterior Christmas Land and exterior Grove of Pines that we shot in episodes 8, 9, and 10 were really tough for me. And by the way, I wasn't there for episode 5, so for me, I guess it was the cold.
That was a game changer episode, man. Of course, you missed out on the Super Duper.
Yeah,
Cold
I was
episode.
back in the writer's room for that one.
Mattea, what was one of the tougher scenes you remember shooting?
I think I have 2. So one of my most difficult scenes, well, also all the exterior shoots are always a challenge because you have to make it seem like that you're not cold at the same time as you are cold, and you just have to act confident and scary, and it's hard when the weather is like down your back. But one of my difficult scenes was definitely when I have to play Demon Millie and my real self, and I have another difficult scene, but you just have to stay tuned to watch that.
Oh my God, we can't wait. Ashley, you get pretty physical from time to time on the show. Any of those fight sequences rank in some of your more difficult?
Yeah, probably just my fight scene with Bing, but I would even say that was difficult because Dari is so wonderful, and he takes such good care of like every situation. That, and it was the only time I was hot on set. Like every time we film anything, it's cold. We're outside and we're cold and it's freezing, even when it doesn't look that cold. So I felt a little spoiled because, I'm sweating for the first time on set. That was a good time.
We actually get a Tabitha question in the comments saying, do we get to see more Tabitha this season? She's so amazing. All caps.
Aw, boredom is silver. Thank you so much. This season, like the season airing now or next season?
Well, I don't know. Let's say this season. There's still 2 more episodes to go.
Yeah.
Tabitha's in 9 and 10. You'll see her.
Oh, yes, I am. Sorry, if that was the question.
I'm sorry. Wrong one. I had a question.
Oh, I love this question.
Who would you play in Nosferatu? Virginia, we'll give this one to you. Who would you play in Nosferatu if you could switch characters with someone else?
Okay, it depends on the day of the week that you ask me because it constantly changes. When I got the audition and I read the pilot, I said, I want to play Maggie. I want to play Maggie. That's the part to have. That's the part I want. Actually, and then I read the book. And after I read the book, I said, I want to play Lou. Lou is the part to have. I want to play Lou. So for me, it's probably Maggie and Lou. But then season 2, you get this insane hourglass character that's not even in the book. And I'm like, I want to play the hourglass. So I just want season 3, Linda to be like this, like, repressed, strong creative. She had no idea the power within her. You guys just wait. Get ready.
Jonathan, is the feeling? Did you want to play
Yeah.
Linda when you first read the script?
Oh, for sure. Definitely wanted to play Linda. Linda's like, it's exactly what you said. Linda's like a true mom, man. She's just looking out for her kid nonstop. I'm surprised she's like, people were like, oh, like Chris McQueen is the cool one. It's like everybody forgot, like, he was pretty abusive, guys. He was in a good situation. Linda was holding it down, right? So yeah, Linda, man. Linda or Tabitha. Tabitha's real deal, man. She comes in there, stuff gets done.
Yeah.
Right?
Claire
Like
agrees.
Bing, she's like, oh, nobody wants to find Bing? I'll find Bing. I'm on it. And what did
And
she do?
done.
Found
She
him.
finds them.
Get stuff done.
Yeah.
Jason, this question I want to ask to you. What did you enjoy most about filming season 2? Because you got a lot of screen time in season 2 and your character changes a lot. You lose a couple teeth. You get to get in a trash compactor, or you get to actually like, oh, anyway, what was your favorite part of shooting season 2?
So my favorite part about filming season 2 was 100% the casting crew. They were all so nice, and it would not be the same without the casting crew. So everyone was amazing.
Good answer, Jamie.
Including you, kiddo.
Definitely.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Thank you.
We're just rifling through some of the questions. Virginia,
Mhm.
I had a question for you, and I can't remember what it was. Okay, so you like to play in a fantasy land. So say, you had a daughter who said she had a magical bridge, a magical motorcycle that go across a magical bridge. Would you believe her? Or is that, how would you handle as a mother that type of situation?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've got 10-month-old twins at home right now. They were 5 weeks old while I was shooting the second season of this. And the one thing I will say that motherhood, not quite in a year, but motherhood has taught me is that I have no idea how the world works. I don't have the answers. Surprise me. Why not? Why not? Show me, magical girl. Teach me. Yeah.
Good answer. We got a question from Mattea here from the live chat. Cynthia Reed asks, Mattea, she throws a snowball to Vic in the real world. Can she explain that a little more?
Good luck, Mattea.
I guess I always thought that when I was rolling the snowball into the real world, I was kind of showing Vic that this place is real and that there's a way that the static is real, I guess, and that there's a way to get into Christmas Land. But I don't really know how to explain this. Do you have any idea, Jamie?
This is that static wall that Millie finds in episode 1. This is the way that I think about it. Charlie Meigs dies at the beginning of episode 1, and I think that opens up a weakness between worlds. And the kids find it in the first episode of season 2. And then I think Millie, it kind of blows her mind a little bit because I think that she didn't think that anything could happen to her father, and that if anything did happen to her, she certainly didn't think anything could happen to Christmas Land. And now she knows that it can. So I think that she's been a little bit obsessed with this kind of weak spot between worlds. She's been warned by her mother in episode 7. She says, if your father's not going to take you out of here, find another way out. So she kind of knows that this may be the way out because, again, it's a weak place. She's seen somebody go through it. She knows that this connects to the real world here. And Vic has never been able to get into Christmas Land before, and I think that it is a higher level of difficulty to take the bridge into someone else's instinct than it is to like take it to the mall. So I think that Mattea is absolutely right. She's showing Vic a way in, and she's showing her where the weak spot is.
Well, we only have a few more minutes before we get to wrap this up. So just a couple more questions, one for me and maybe one from the chat. Back to you, Jami. One of the coolest things about season 2, a lot of season 2, it adds to that sort of Nosferatu universe. Elements like Charlie Manx's backstory, his childhood history, sort of his life as a young adult. Like you talked about the Hourglass Man. These are all sort of new elements that, fans of just the novel. I know it's been expanded in the comic books and stuff, but how much creative freedom did you, Jami, and the writers of Nosferatu have with playing with Joe's story, or was Joe very much a part of this creative process?
Joe has always been very supportive of the process. At the beginning of the season 2, he came in and spent a couple days in our writer's room. We all are huge fans of his work. And so even though we have made some changes in order to make a compelling television show, I think we've done a pretty good job of staying true to the spirit of the work. And I think that Joe would say that as well. And I think that he appreciates it. And truthfully, some of the changes he pitched. He pitched the Hourglass Man. That was his idea. And then how he functioned in the story was something that we ran with and we developed. But he is not at all an author who is, it must be word perfect to my book. He's imaginative and creative. And so he is just excited to be, playing in the sandbox most of the time. So we never felt limited. We always felt inspired by the material.
That was really one of my favorite things about season 2 is all that backstory stuff was just, man, I just ate that up. Last question. I want to see if I can find it because it's really good one. I want to go around the table and ask everybody this one question. Jonathan, I'll start with you. From Karen Merriman, would you get in the Wraith? Like, would you do it? All those presents, all those beautiful presents?
No. Sorry, Karen. No.
Jason, we already know the answer for that one, but sorry, Jonathan, go ahead.
I just no. No. No.
Would it be dependent on who was driving the Wraith, or just not having?
No. It's just look, the car. You see, when do I see cars that old with people coming? But come in. Like, the steering wheel is not even on the right side. It's on the wrong side. There's too many variables, too many questions. Where's the door handle? How come there's no door handle? No, sorry, it's too old. What does it break? I don't even know what gas it takes. No, sorry.
Jason, we know Wayne would get in the Wraith, but would Jason get in the Wraith full of Christmas presents?
I actually have a few answers. For Wayne, if I remember correctly, he actually doesn't want to go in. The only reason he gets in is because he's forced to. Bing just grabs him and just throws him in there. So, like, at the part where he actually has a choice, he does what his mom says and say, "What's the password?" And when he doesn't answer, he knows that this is bad, so he runs. So, for me, I would not go. Even if I didn't know I would turn into a demon, I still would not go, because this is a lesson for all the kids who are watching this, and I guess even for some adults. Do not go in a stranger's car. Even if there's a bunch of tempting presents, do not go in a stranger's car.
That's rule number 1.
Yeah.
I mean, well done, sir. Mattea, I have to assume you're going to take a cue from your coworker Jason and say, don't get in a stranger's car.
I mean, yeah, that sounds ideal. Sounds like the main point, but I don't know. I just feel like I would get in the car, but
thank you. Some honesty.
I would not want to. If I were being forced into it, then I would, be in the car. But if I weren't being forced, you would have to bribe me with something really good to get in the car. So there's a chance. There's a chance that I would. get in the
Virginia, we know you'd get in the car.
I'm completely irresponsible. The car is amazing. I would get in the car.
It's a free ride. It's an Uber you didn't call.
I mean, I like presumably I wouldn't know that it's a murderous magic car. I would just think, look at that old vintage Rolls Royce decked out with presents. Wow, of course I would get in the car.
It's like if you've ever been to Chicago, they got the Christmas train that runs around the holidays.
Yes!
It's the exact same thing. Everybody wants to get on the Christmas train.
Yes.
I guess Virginia, or I'm sorry, Ashley.
I'm with Mattea and Virginia on this one. I've done Stranger Things. I probably would get in the car. Actually, if you've ever been to Brooklyn, like around Crown Heights, there's a van where it's cheaper than a regular taxi. And
The Donovans.
it's a you know what I'm talking about, right, John?
Oh, the Donovans, yeah. Utica.
Like a dollar cab.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
basically, you see, just pull up, and people hop in it, and then they just go, and you don't know where they're going. But they go. They always go where they need to go. Anyway, I've done that, and I don't think Charlie Mingus would have to bribe me a lot to get in the car.
It just looks like a fun ride.
Maybe some free healthcare. I don't know. Disney login. Who knows? Yeah.
Jamie, I'm going to say no, right?
I mean, I know too much about that car now. I feel like that car's bad news. No way in hell. I'm not going anywhere near it.
Well, guys, we can't thank you enough. Give our best to Dari if you see him, and give our best to the cast. Hopefully we get more Nosferatu. Thanks for everybody that hopped in the chat, guys. Thanks for taking the time to help us with Hero Initiative. Talking about Nosferatu. Season 9 is tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on AMC and BBC America, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
So, guys, check it out. And it's also streaming online at the AMC app. You can catch up on Season 1. You can catch up on Season 2. Guys, I can't recommend it enough. The book's great. The show's phenomenal. Season 2 is going to knock your socks off. So thanks a lot for being here, guys. See you here next time.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Bye. Thank you. We're taking all the
everybody.
fans.
Thanks.
Bye.
See you
Take
later.
care, everyone. See you again.
Bye.